Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. And in this episode, I want to talk about principles and understanding principles. And what you're going to find in this episode is how they tie into our core values, because principles guide our actions, behavior, decision making, and it ensures consistency of integrity. And we should really give some serious thought to principles because they are very, very predictable. The thing about principles is that they are truth that we can live by, that will give us clarity for our purpose, resilience in challenges, and also it allows us to have authentic relationships. So stay tuned for this episode of understanding how principles work and how we should apply them to our lives to get the best results and live our best life. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the inside. Hey fam, Master Coach G here, thriving after 50, mind, body, soul. In this episode, I am talking about understanding principles. In the last episode, I talked about core values. And what you're going to find here is understanding how principles work, how they involve the foundation of truth, and how we should apply them to our lives. It helps us with our discipline and our belief system. Principles guide our actions, our behavior, our decision making, and they also ensure consistency and integrity. That's what I'm talking about right there. Consistency and integrity. It's the foundation of nature. Okay. You will find, and this is where I base this from. I base everything on the Bible. You will find that the Bible is completely full of principles. It gives us a compass, if you will, for how for us to live our lives. So if you look at it from a natural standpoint of view, it's like building blocks. For example, if you look at science, let's take a principle like gravity. Okay. Here's the one thing I know about gravity is that if you fall off of a 10-story building, naturally gravity is going to pull you down. It's not going to hold you up. It doesn't, gravity, you're going to fall. Let's just put it that way. You will fall off the 10-story building. And even if you have a parachute, you're going to hit the ground. Okay. And it more than likely won't be a pleasant experience. But gravity is a natural principle. Okay. Here's another natural principle. Water to a fish. A fish out of water, you're taking it out of its element. So the principle to a fish is water. Okay. If you look at a tree, the soil is the principle to the tree. Okay. If you take the tree out of soil, it's not going to live. If you take a fish out of water, it's not going to live. Those are principles. Those things are not going to change. I don't care if you're in China, if you're in the jungle, if you're in Delaware, it doesn't matter where you are. This principle is going to apply. If you take a fish out of water in China, guess what? It's going to die. If you take a tree out of the soil in Delaware, guess what? The tree is going to die. So principles work across the board. Principles apply to all different situations. So you have to be able to, and they're consistent. That's the one thing I can say about principles. They are consistent. But here's the thing. They are a guiding framework that act as a compass for our decision making. So when we're faced with a decision or situation, then we should be able to apply principles, core value principles which is the truth. Let me just say that principles are truth, and truth works everywhere for anyone, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. Principles are very, 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 and add 10,000 more varies to that, very predictable, because principles are rooted in consistent truth, and that's how they allow predictability. It's just that simple. Jump off a 10-story building. Here's the predictability in that. You're going to hit the ground. That's predictable. If you jump off a 10-story building, you're going to hit the ground. That is a prediction, and it affects anybody. I don't care if it's you, your mother, your brother, your sister, it doesn't matter. It is predictable that if you get on a 10-story building and jump off the side, that you're gonna hit the ground. Period. Now, you can also be adaptable when you talk about principles. Okay, while principles are fixed, they can also apply to being flexible. People can adapt to them to specific situations, okay, or challenges. So using them as a flexible guideline rather than a rigid rule, okay? They're not rules. They are predictable, things that are predictable. It's like, you know that when you go in the store, unless you steal something, you know it's predicted that you're going to have to pay for it, okay? That's a principle. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you some things that are simple, basic, that anybody can understand. To apply principles effectively, it's important to study them, understanding their origin, and knowing how they fit into the larger system of our personal belief system. Okay, principles have several foundations for living a fulfilled life because, again, they act as guiding values and they shape our beliefs and they help us with our decision making. So here's how they contribute to more meaningful existence. They give us clarity for our purpose. When we know our core principles, it becomes easier to define your goals and your purpose. Okay? You can align your actions with what truly matters to you, leading to a greater satisfaction and fulfillment. That also goes back to your core values as well. Okay? Consistency in decision making. Principles provide a stable reference point. Okay? So here's a reference point. If you go on top of a 10-story building, here's the point. If you jump off, what's going to happen? There you go. So therefore, that's just one example. And I like to use that one example because anybody can relate to that. Helping you make consistent decisions, even in complex situations. This can lead to integrity and a sense of your true self. And to be able to trust who you are. To be true to who you are. Resilience and challenges. Life difficulties are easier to navigate when you have guiding principles. Okay, let me say that again. In resilience and challenges, life difficulties are easier to navigate when you have guiding principles. Okay, they help you to stay focused and grounded, even when circumstances are tough, offering emotional and mental resilience. Now, here's something that's really important because we all have relationships. It doesn't matter what the relationship is, whether it's family, work, it doesn't matter. But we want to be authentic in our relationships. Okay? So living by your principles allow you to build honest and authentic connections with other people. Okay? You'll attract people who resonate with your values, which leads to a deeper and more meaningful relationships. Self-respect and confidence. Now, this is a very important key right here. When you live according to your principles, you develop a strong sense of self-respect and confidence. You feel proud of who you are and less likely to be swayed by external pressure. Okay, when you have self-respect and confidence in who you are and you are living according to your principles, you are less likely to be swayed by all that outside stuff out here in the world because you're going to stand on your principles. Just same thing with the core values. Goes right back to the core values. A positive impact on others. By living in alignment with your principles, you set an example for others, inspiring and motivating them to live an authentic life as well. Because once people see how you're living on principles, it inspires them to want to be able to do the same thing. Principles act as an internal compass, guiding us toward our actions not only beliefs, but also contribute to positively changing the world around us. That is what we have to live by. That's why principles are so valuable. That's why they're so important. That's why if you read the Bible, you will get a better understanding of principles. You will be able to apply the Word of God to your life because they are principles, and you'll be able to see the results. You will be able to grow in integrity. You will be able to have a positive influence on other people. You will gain more self-respect and confidence in who you are and less likely to be swayed by any other outside influences. You will have better, authentic relationships and having connections with people who resonate with your values. You will have the resilience in challenges when life is lifing, regardless of what the circumstances are, and it will help you to have the emotional and mental resilience that you need when life is lifing. You will be able to make more consistent decisions because that is what core principles will provide for you to be able to make better decisions in your life. And it will definitely help you with clarity for your purpose. When you know your core principles, it becomes easier to define your goals and your purpose. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Don't you want to be fulfilled? Don't you want to flourish? Yes, we all want to flourish. We all want to be fulfilled in our lives. So that's the reason why we need to understand principles and how they affect our lives. I know this is a short segment. This is a short episode. But if you can get this and apply principles to your life, it is a compass and it will help you. It will guide you. It will lead you in your life, in your relationships, in your personal life, in your professional life, in every aspect of your life. Principles matter. So please, please, please apply principles. Study principles, understand principles, and live according to these core principles in your life, according to your standards. And you will see great results. It's a benefit to living with core principles in your life. That's what I have for you today. I hope this episode has added value to your life. Thank you for joining me here on Thriving After 50, Mind, Body, Soul. But before I get out of here, I got to give a shout out to my listeners in the United States, Canada, Australia, Russia Federation, Mexico, Belgium, Ireland, South Africa, Brazil, Nigeria, United Kingdom, Germany, France, Bangladesh, Ukraine, Kuwait, India, Hong Kong, Dominican Republic, and we just added the Philippines. Thank you all for listening. The listener audience is growing every single week. I appreciate you all so much for listening. If this podcast has been a benefit, please subscribe to this channel so every time I drop a new episode, you will be the first one to get it. And write me a review. Share this with someone that may not be aware of principles so that they can apply this information to their life. And remember, knowledge applied is power. This is Master Coach G, and I will see you on the next level.